So, how do you make a logical case for something as massive as the afterlife? Do you pull out dusty philosophy books? Do you build some complex logical proof? Well, the text we're breaking down today, called the 10th word, does something totally different. It tells a story. So let's dive into this amazing parable and see exactly how it builds its argument.
You know, what's really cool is that the text tells you its game plan right from the jump. The whole point isn't to write a fairy tale. The point is to use a story to make these huge, complicated truths way easier to understand. For the author, the story isn't just a story, it's a tool for revealing what they see as a verifiable truth. So let's follow along. All right, so picture this. The story kicks off with two guys, two travelers on a journey through this absolutely magnificent land. It's described as being just like paradise. But there's something odd about this place. All the property, the homes, the shops, all the valuables, it's all just left out in the open. No guards, no locks, nothing. And right away, you see these two guys go down totally different paths. One of them just sees a free-for-all. He starts grabbing whatever he wants, doing whatever feels good in the moment. But his friend, he's totally alarmed. He starts warning him, saying, "Hey, I don't think this is what it looks like. There's something bigger going on here."
And this is where the real argument begins. It's not just about some petty theft. It's a clash between two fundamentally different ways of seeing the exact same world. Is this place an abandoned playground with no rules, or is there a hidden order, a hidden ruler that one of them just isn't seeing?
This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the skeptic. He looks around, sees no owners, and figures it's a free-for-all. His motto is basically, "I won't believe in a king unless I see him with my own two eyes." But the believer sees the exact same things and comes to a totally different conclusion. He sees state property, government servants, and he's convinced the king's laws are everywhere, even if the king isn't standing right in front of them.
And there it is. The skeptic throws down the challenge with that one simple question. Who's the king? I don't see any king. It's the classic objection, right? If there's a ruler, show him to me. And this very question sets the stage for the believer's entire argument.
So how does the believer respond? Well, he doesn't say, "Oh, I've seen the king." Not at all. Instead, he starts pointing to the evidence. He says, "Look around you." He points to all the signs of incredible design, perfect organization, and a clear, intelligent hand behind how this whole kingdom works.
The believer's logic is actually pretty simple. It starts small. He says, look, every single needle has to have a craftsman who made it. Every letter has to have a writer. So he scales that up. How could this ridiculously well-ordered kingdom not have a ruler? He points to trains showing up like clockwork, packed with amazing gifts. He points to royal seals stamped on everything, and flags flying from every corner. The evidence of a ruler, he says, is absolutely everywhere, even if you can't see the ruler himself.
Okay, so proof number one is on the table. There's a king. But wait, the argument's not over. Not by a long shot. It now pivots to something way bigger. The believer is about to argue that this land they're in, it can't possibly be the only one. Another one has to exist.
And this is the question that really kicks the whole thing into high gear. The believer asks his skeptical friend to just look around. They see people acting honorably, and they see people, like him, acting rebelliously. So he asks, in a kingdom this amazing, run by such a powerful ruler, is it really possible that there are no ultimate consequences, no reward for good, no punishment for bad?
Think about it. In this place, perfect justice just doesn't happen. The powerful guy who steps on everyone often keeps his power right to the end, and the person who was wronged often stays that way. Since they both leave this place with the scales of justice unbalanced, their cases must be waiting to be heard somewhere else, at a supreme tribunal. The injustice here practically screams that there must be perfect justice somewhere else.
So the next piece of evidence is all about the king's character. I mean, look at the incredible generosity everywhere, the amazing gifts, the care for the sick. It all points to a ruler who is infinitely compassionate. But in this temporary world, we only see a tiny glimpse of that generosity. For it to be truly infinite, there has to be another place where it can be shown in its full glory.
Man, what a beautiful and powerful line from the text. The believer makes this incredible point. The king's beauty is perfect, it's eternal, so it needs admirers who can appreciate it eternally. If you're just a temporary admirer who's going to disappear, your love would eventually turn sour. So for that eternal beauty to really mean something, its admirers have to be made eternal too.
And the evidence just keeps piling up. The believer points out something else, something kind of strange about this kingdom. Everywhere they go, there are scribes and photographers, and they are recording everything. Every single action, big or small. Now, why would you do that? All this meticulous record-keeping seems pointless, unless it's for a reason. Unless it's all being saved for a future accounting, where every single deed will be brought to light.
All right, so up to now, every single proof has been based on logic, right? On looking at the evidence in the kingdom and figuring things out. But now we get to the grand finale. The argument is about to shift from something you figure out to something that's revealed, directly and undeniably.
Imagine this. A huge crowd gathers, and suddenly this noble commander shows up, and he is decked out in the king's own medals and decorations. So there's absolutely no question who sent him. He's not there to debate or convince anyone. He's there to deliver a direct order from the king himself. And the text says his authority is crystal clear to anyone who isn't just choosing to be blind.
And this is the message he delivers. It's the ultimate proof, because it's no longer an argument. It's a declaration. He reads a supreme edict straight from the king, saying, basically, get ready. This place is temporary. You're all going to another permanent realm. You're going to the king's headquarters, and you'll be rewarded or punished based on how you behaved here. Game over.
So with that bombshell, the debate is pretty much over. The parable has made its final, most powerful point. So now the text takes a step back to make sure we get it, to decode the whole story for us.
And the skeptic? He doesn't just say, okay, you win. He's actually relieved. He says he's been saved from his own vain imagination. He finally sees the truth and fully believes in the permanent world that's waiting. The argument didn't just convince him, it saved him. So let's break down the code here. What did all that mean? Well, the beautiful, temporary land, that's our world. The two travelers, that's the believer and the skeptic inside all of us. The hidden but all-powerful king is, of course, God. That noble commander with the message, he represents the prophets. And that supreme edict he read, that symbolizes the Holy Scriptures. So when you boil it all down, the big idea of the 10th word is this. Believing in the hereafter isn't supposed to be some blind leap of faith. The text frames it as the most logical, most rational conclusion you can come to just by looking at the world. From justice to beauty to mercy, the signs are everywhere, all pointing to a bigger, permanent reality just beyond this one. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about, which is the method itself. The author chose a story, a parable, to make their deepest philosophical points. And it makes you wonder, right? When you're tackling the biggest questions of all, maybe, just maybe, a story is the most logical and the most powerful argument there is.